This just confirmed what we all feared. The Bills are heading into the bye with a lot of questions to ask themselves, so let's talk about it all right here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar, and we are officially in the full swing of the Bills season. There's only one issue. 73% of you guys who are watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest to stay in touch with all your latest Bills news, because we got you guys covered from wall to wall. And like I said, guys, what we all feared is fully true, and the ugly head has fully poken out of the closet. The Bills lose to the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football at a score of 24-14, and an abysmal outing by the Bills defense, by the Bills offense. At one point in this game, at the end of the second half, after what probably should have been a Drake London touchdown to finish off the first half, Taylor Rapp comes in and pushes Drake London out of bounds with maybe a foot to spare until it was a touchdown. On what should have been an easy play where it was just hold him to a field goal, Drake London, after having an impressive first half against this Bills defense, tears him to shred. At halftime, Bijan Robinson and Drake London had a combined 200-plus total yards of offense for the Atlanta Falcons. And the Atlanta Falcons had only two other guys who had more than 5 yards. Bijan and Drake London were the workhorses for the Falcons against the Bills defense, and the Bills defense looked abysmal. The offense looked stale, and the ugly head of the past few weeks is fully out and showing. Let's start off with the offense, which stalled out heavy in that second half. Josh's stats for the day: 15-26, 180 through the air, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. One of them, which was on what could have been a drive to bring it within 1 field goal, throws a pick in the red zone. Another week, 4 sacks for 23 yards lost. Again, just an abysmal day for Josh. Didn't look like the MVP Josh. The offense stalled out numerous times. It looks like he doesn't trust his receivers. The Bills abandoned the running game once again. Jimbo finishes 17 of 87, but only has 56% of the snap count for the game. He was cooking on that opening drive of the second half. It looks like the Bills, starting off that second half, found a formula: run the ball with Josh, control the line of scrimmage with the offense, run the ball with Jimbo, control the line of scrimmage with the offensive line, and Joe Brady abandons it. Has Ty Johnson and Ray Davis rotating with Jimbo when Jimbo is averaging 5.1 yards per carry. Josh had 6 for 42 through the ground, and that is because he was rushing, because they were sending 6 and 7 guys on third downs. He had to get out of that pocket. He had less than 2 seconds to throw in most third down situations because they were in third and long situations. There was no need to be in those third and long situations. In instances where the run game was working to control the line of scrimmage and control those second and third downs, have a 2nd and 6, have a 3rd and 3. Instead, the Bills were pinned up against the wall with a 2nd and 15, a 3rd and 10, a 2nd and 18, a 3rd and 15. There were numerous times where the Bills played perfectly into the Falcons game plan and allowed Joe Ulbrich to send the house on numerous plays. There's the 4th down where the Bills got too cute again with Joe Brady, tries an end around with Elijah Moore, fumbles, doesn't get it. Don't know what that was. The other 4th down where Josh does a flick to Ty Johnson, and on the broadcast, Dan Orlovsky said, you didn't have to do that. You could have just thrown it and probably got the first down and more yards. The Bills were getting cute. And it's another week of Josh not trusting his receivers, and a lack of separation was noticeable with any of the receivers. Kincaid was obviously out. The Bills lost Joshua Palmer early in this game on the second drive, where on the first drive he looked great. A bomb to Palmer to start off the first offensive play of the game. Classic what I've been calling for. Play action, hit him deep, keep the offense or the defense honest, and keep it open to allow the run game to work. Unfortunately, Palmer gets hurt. This could have easily been a big Palmer game. Was not. He still finished off leading the way for the Bills with 2 receptions for 60 yards. Shakir with 3 for 33. Tyrell Shavers got booted into the starting lineup with 3 for 27. Dawson Knox, 1 for 19 and that touchdown in the first drive. Ray Davis, 2 for 19 and a touchdown. And 2 big names here. Elijah Moore, who was supposed to be a man beater with the Falcons running a ton of man, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Keon Coleman, who the Bills spent their second-round pick, which is a glorified first-round pick as it was the 33rd pick of the draft, had a great corner on him. I'm blanking on his name, but he was blanketed all game, could not get anything, finished off the night with 3 for 11. And A.J. Terrell, that's who was on the Atlanta Falcons, was on him all night, shadowed him all night, and just took him completely out of the game. And there was no receiver separation. There was no time for Josh to let these plays develop because it was 2-3 seconds and he had to get that ball out. But there was no one to get the ball to. Joe Brady got too cute in situations. The receivers cannot get separation. This could have been a good big game for Joshua Palmer, like I said, and it could have been a very different storyline as the Bills did bring in Joshua Palmer to be this man beater. Started off very strong, gets hurt. He is probably going to be out for a couple of weeks with what looks like an ankle injury, and the same old story pokes his head back out again. And Sean McDermott is understanding the frustrations we are having as Bills fans with the lack of a separator. McDermott was asked if he feels like receivers and tight ends just aren't getting opened. I can feel what you're saying. It was hard. It was too hard tonight for a quarterback, and it doesn't need to be hard all the time. Now, in fairness, the Bills were without their breakout tight end, Dalton Kincaid, who was out this week, who had a very good game against the New England Patriots last week. But the Falcons took the same game plan that the Patriots did. Take Keon Coleman out of the game. He cannot beat a number 1 receiver. Christian Gonzalez last week had him out of the game. A.J. Terrell this week had him out of the game. And let someone else beat you. And no one else showed up. The offense stalled in that second half. Had numerous opportunities to put points on the board and take the lead or tie the game. The Falcons wanted to give us this game in the second half, and the offense did not capitalize at all, and it was a frustrating watch for any sort of Bills fans, only putting up 14 points against a Falcons team that lost and got shut out by the Carolina Panthers just a few weeks ago, who the Bills play after their bye week. It is going to be a long 2 weeks until that Panthers game, and there's going to be a ton to talk about on the offensive side of the ball, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. The Bills did not start this game good at all. In warm-ups, Daquan Jones injured his calf and did not play. The Bills lost Christian Benford for a bit. Terrell Bernard got hurt early in this first half, did not come back and play. Cole Bishop was injured at one point. Jordan Poyer got a call-up from the practice squad, played a ton of snaps on this Bills team. Shaq Thompson did have an opportunity to get a pick, what looked like was going to be a pick six, dropped it. But again, the Bills got demolished in the first half on the defensive side of the ball. And this defense is not a Super Bowl caliber defense. We just have to admit it. It is not a Super Bowl caliber defense. It wasn't last year, but they were getting turnovers when it was needed, and they won a turnover differential battle. Again, another week they did not win that battle and lose badly to the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said earlier in the video, at one point, The whole offense ran through Bijan Robinson and Drake London. At halftime, they had, I want to say, 250, 260 of the total yards, and the Falcons had a total of 280. It was only 20 yards that weren't from Bijan or Drake London. Drake London made some phenomenal catches numerous times where he was wide open. Trey Light, again, looks, I hate to say it, I love him. I love this guy right here, but he's not a starting caliber corner in this league. But the only issue is we got so many injuries. I don't know if there's anyone else out there who we can really bring in. Christian Benford was down for a bit in this game. The safeties are a issue again. It was noticeable last night. Numerous people were saying, watching Bills film from last night, Buffalo should be pursuing a safety deadline trade more aggressively than any other deadline buyer of any position of the last few seasons. Taylor Rapp looked lost out there, took the wrong angles on the Tyler Algier touchdown. Cole Bishop had a chance to bring down Bijan Robinson one-on-one in the open field, just falls right off him on that Bijan 84-yard rushing touchdown. I still have faith in Cole Bishop. He's shown flashes of being a decent safety in this league, but I think the clock has stopped on Taylor Rapp, and I think the smashing case of emergency with Jordan Poyer is not a smashing case of emergency. I think Jordan Poyer, by the end of this season, is going to be the starting safety on this Bills team if they do not go after anybody. And if I'm Brandon Beane, you have to be making phone calls. Justin Simmons is out there. There are numerous other guys out there who you could try and trade for. I get it. It's a complicated position in this Bills defense, but you got to get some talent in there, dude. Taylor Rapp is not cutting it. Cole Bishop needs someone who can bounce off of. He cannot bounce off of Taylor Rapp. Numerous times Cole Bishop is taking the wrong angles on that drive for the field goal on the last Falcons drive. It looked like a miscommunication by Trey Light and Cole Bishop, leaving Bijan wide open. They had an opportunity there to get a sack and have a chance to tie the game if they force a punt. Doesn't happen. Falcons march down the field and get a field goal to make it a two-score game. On the flip side, the offense did nothing. Stalled out numerous times. 4 3-and-outs in a row. Stalled out completely. Joe Brady got too cute. Abandoned the run numerous times when Jimbo was cooking. And it looks like it's shades of that Ken Dorsey offense again. They look great in scripted situations. The first drive, Josh looked on fire. Marches down the field, scores a touchdown to Dawson Knox, stalls out the whole first half. Marches down the field, scores a touchdown to Ray Davis, stalls out for the rest of the game. This is the same issue they ran into with Ken Dorsey. Looked great on the opening script drives of the first and second half, then stalls out completely. The Bills had an identity. Run the ball with your superstar running back and let the game open for Josh to allow the everybody eats offense to work as you bring guys into the box, and it allows for attributes of the of the receivers to open up when they are so honed in on Jimbo. They abandoned that completely yesterday. Jimbo only had 55% of the running back snaps, like I mentioned earlier, and the Bills need to look at themselves long and hard in this mirror, or long and hard to themselves in this mirror, because it is going to be a long season if they do not right the ship somehow. Again, the Bills have a history of this. They have lost back-to-back games for 5 seasons in a row, but this seems like the most gloom and doom. Last year, they lost to the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos, and, well, they made the Ken Dorsey firing. And it's just, it's frustrating to watch. Last year was the Bengals and the Ravens. 2 years ago with the Ken Dorsey firing. This year, obviously, you got the Patriots and you got the Falcons. Before, you got the Patriots in that Mac Jones 3-yard game and the Buccaneers game in overtime in 2020. Then you also have the Ravens smackdown and the Bengals beating of us. It's just frustration They need to reconvene in this bye week and figure something out. The defense is not working at all. The safeties need help. The pass rush cannot get after the quarterback when the coverage is busted within 2 seconds. Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau were getting after the quarterback, but by the time they got there, the ball was out. And they were getting there in 2 seconds. The back end is abysmal right now. Christian Benford is not playing up to his contract. Trey White looks washed. Cole Bishop looks lost out there. Taylor Rapp is washed. Terrell Bernard, as much as I love him, didn't look that good. Hasn't looked that good for a few weeks now. Shaq Thompson looks better. Dorian Williams played a solid game. But this defense is a mess. They came to play in the second half, which I'll give them their flowers, but the offense stalled out, and there are numerous issues in this team. The heads were poking out for the past 3 weeks. Let's be honest here. That Saints game was not a comfortable win. That Dolphins game was not a comfortable win. The Bills are a Terrell Bernard interception away, a Keon Coleman luckily caught touchdown pass away, and a Saints called back touchdown away from only having one win on the season against the New York Jets. That is the margin of winning that the Bills have been winning by, and they got to go into that bye week and they have to regroup majorly, or else it's going to be a long season. We went from 1 seed aspirations to AFC East aspirations. The Patriots are now leading the AFC East at 4-2 as they have the tiebreaker against the Bills. Again, we'll see as the season goes on. The Patriots will stumble at one point. Let's hope the Bills stumble now and they regroup and retool, because they need to go out and make phone calls. Brandon Beane, you got to go make some phone calls. You got to go call for Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed from the Saints. You got to go look at Justin Simmons. You got to go see where Asante Samuel Jr.'s health is at. You got to see if Stephon Gilmore wants to come back to Buffalo. You have to make moves. And those moves cannot be, well, Jordan Poyer's going to be the starting safety, and, well, we got Gabe Davis on the practice squad. He's already been here. He knows how to work with Josh. No, you have to look outside of this building and outside of guys who have been in this team. You need fresh faces. But let me know your thoughts below, guys. Love to hear from you guys as always. What are your thoughts on the Saints game? What are your guys' thoughts on the state of the Bills right now? Let me know down below. I love to hear from you guys as always. Like I said before, please subscribe to the channel. We just got over 1,000 subscribers, so we really appreciate that. But let's keep the ball going, because we got you guys covered all season here at Bills Digest. So subscribe, stay in touch, stay informed, and as always, guys, go Bills.